Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tom's Gadget Garage. Today I'm going to be talking about an electric tire pump, specifically the Cycplus AL7. Now, just over a year ago I covered another Cycplus pump on this channel, specifically the AS2 Pro Max, and this little thing here has quickly become my go-to tire inflator, and I literally take this with me on every single one of my e-bike and electric scooter rides. And on top of that, nearly every single bike or scooter that rolls through this garage has its tires inflated by this little pump. And at this point I've probably got over 100 cycles on the battery, and I've carried this thing with me over the course of thousands of miles of rides, and there have been a couple scenarios where I ended up getting a flat tire on a first ride review of a bike or on a range test, and this little bad boy here, as well as a bottle of slime, got me out of a hairy situation and allowed me to continue on my rides. So when Cycplus reached out asking if I would test and review the AL7 on this channel, I didn't hesitate. I said absolutely, send it on over. And so today we're going to go over the features of the AL7, some of its specs, and then we're going to go ahead and inflate some tires, and I'll leave you with some final thoughts. So now that we've laid the groundwork, let's go ahead and jump straight into the details. Alright folks, so this here is the Cycplus AL7, and as you can see it's got a very square shape to it. It is 6.5 inches tall, 6.5 inches long, and approximately 3 inches wide. And overall this thing weighs in at exactly 2.6 pounds. Now taking a closer look at the AL7, you will see this thing's got a nice large screen, and if we push and hold the power button, I'll go ahead and power that on, and you're going to have a lot of information on here. So at the top, you're going to see the current pressure of whatever you're attaching this device to. So if this is connected to a bike tire that's got 10 psi, you'll see 10 psi up top. Now, if you want to inflate that to say 20 psi or 50 psi, whatever it might be, you can actually make that adjustment. And that's what this number here is representing. Just below that, you will have a battery bar. So this is fully charged at 4 out of 4 battery bars. And then you will see some icons on there for a bicycle, a moped, a car, as well as a basketball. Those are basically preset functions, but at any point in time, you can come in here, turn this dial, and adjust the pressure however you would like. Now, if you don't want to use PSI and you want to use, say, bar, for example, you can actually push and hold this, and it'll switch our units of measure to bar. You push it again, it'll take you right back to PSI. As I was mentioning a moment ago, there is a light button on here, so if I go ahead and push on this, it's going to activate this light that you have at the front. So if you are inflating tires late at night in low light conditions, this will definitely help out. But you can also use this as a torch of sorts, because we do have a handlebar here which actually pops right up. You can carry this around, walk around at night in low light conditions, and this will help illuminate the path ahead. Something to call out is that when you do extend this handlebar here, it does expose 2 charging ports. So this particular device has a USB-C charging port as well as a DC charging port. It does not come with a DC charger, but it does come with a USB-C cable. And if you use that cable in conjunction with like a 30-watt charger, they say you can charge this from empty to full in approximately 3 hours. Another benefit of this handlebar is it does protect those charging ports when it's in the closed position. Something that I've learned over the years with these tire inflators is that ventilation is key, especially when running these under heavy load. For example, inflating car tires or multiple car tires, or operating these things in warmer conditions. The good news here with this AL7 is that it's got multiple ventilation ports. So you've got a ventilation port up front, you've got an actual cooling fan at the bottom, and then you've got a second cooling fan up top. If you have a tire inflator that doesn't have good ventilation and active cooling, the chances of it overheating are very high. When they do overheat, they go into like a thermal protection mode and shut down, and you basically have to wait till the device cools down to start using again, and that is a huge waste of time. Going back to the device itself, it is designed to be used in a flat configuration, so when you're inflating things, you'll want to keep it nice and flat on the ground. You will see that it's got some rubber feet on here, and although this thing does weigh 2.6 pounds, it does tend to kind of vibrate around on the ground, so just make sure you have this thing secured when you start inflating. One of the things that I really like about this pump is that it comes in a fully self-contained package. What do I mean by that? Well, if we look at the back of the device here, you will see there's a little door, and when I lift this door, you're going to see that we've got a nice large tube that we can use to inflate our tires, and then we've got a bunch of accessories in here. So pulling this tube out, you'll see it is very long. So I'll go ahead and close this door. It's long, and that's going to be important because sometimes other pumps come with short little cables, and now you've got your pump hanging off the side of your car, inflating your tire. It's not a good look. With this, you've got plenty of slack in the line. And by plenty of slack, I mean 22 inches. Here at the end of this inflation tube, we do have a nice little valve adapter here, and it's screw-on, so it's going to screw on to a standard Schrader valve. But this particular pump does come with a press-to-valve adapter, as well as a bunch of other adapters, so I'll show you what those look like. This here is going to be our Presta adapter, balloon adapter, ball adapter, and last but not least, my favorite adapter, the quick release chuck adapter here, which you can use to attach to a Schrader valve. You lock it into place. When you're done, you pop this off and it results in minimal air loss. And of course, in the bag, we do have a USB-C charging cable. And the beautiful thing about this is that it all fits nicely into this little storage compartment. Now, in terms of power on board, this thing does come equipped with an 11.1 volt battery, which is good for 5,200 milliamp hours of capacity. So you should be able to inflate a bunch of things many times. And you can see it on this chart here. They basically give a breakdown of different tire types, different pressure ranges, and how many times you can repeat that inflation on a full battery charge. In addition to that, the AL7 can inflate things anywhere from 3 psi all the way up to 100 psi. So now that you've got all the details of this electric pump, let's go ahead and see how it does inflating various tires. So in this first video clip, I'm going to inflate the tire on an electric XP4 e-bike. The tire on this particular bike is 20 inches by 3 inches, and I'm going to go ahead and inflate it from 9.5 psi all the way up to 37 psi. As you saw from that clip, it was able to inflate that tire in a relatively short period of time. One thing to call out about the inflation process on this pump is that it's going to start off basically in turbo mode. So it's going to try and inflate that tire as quickly as possible. But once it gets within 2 to 3 psi of its target pressure, it will slow down. It'll kind of trickle inflate that tire. That way it doesn't overshoot the pressure. Let's see how fast we can inflate a 10-inch electric scooter tire from 8.5 psi up to 50 psi. Next up is going to be a 20-inch by 4-inch fat tire from an electric e-bike, and we're going to inflate it from 11.5 to 30 psi. And finally, I'm going to go ahead and top off the tires on my Mazda CX-5. Here in Arizona, we're coming into our fall season, so things are getting quite a bit colder outside, and both my wife's and my car's tire pressure monitoring systems threw up some alerts letting us know we need to increase the pressure in our tires. So I actually used this pump to inflate the tires on both my wife's car and my car, and I also took care of the spare tires as well. So 10 tires total, and after I topped those off, I still had 4 out of 4 battery bars remaining. So here's a quick clip of me topping off one of those tires. As you can see, this Cycplus AL7 is a very versatile pump, so whether you're inflating electric scooter tires, e-bike tires, regular bike tires, car tires, basketballs, volleyballs, things like that, this thing's going to be able to handle it, especially with the active cooling they have built into it. Prior to me getting this AL7, when my smaller pump would be out of juice, but I still needed to inflate a tire, I'd pull this bad boy out, this like a EverStart, like power bank slash jumper cable slash tire inflator, and this thing is absolutely heavy, it's clunky. It uses a 12 volt battery, which takes forever to charge up. I actually have to plug it in and give it 24 hours to fully charge. With this AL7, charge times are much quicker, and it's a heck of a lot easier to carry that thing around. So overall, based on my testing, this Cycplus AL7 is a very robust, relatively compact, portable tire inflator that can be used for a wide variety of applications, especially heavier duty applications like inflating car tires. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns. Happy to address those in the comment section below. And if you do want to pick up one of these pumps, I will include an affiliate link as well as any available coupons in the description below. And if you use that to make your purchase, it absolutely helps support this channel and keeps the wheels moving on future reviews. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in to Tom's Gadget Garage. We'll see you next time.